All right, you're all set on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. We are here for the 4th of July Celebration Committee. We have myself, Jen Allard, Ken. Do you want to introduce yourself, Ken?
Ken Heritage.
And Heather.
Heather Hill.
We're waiting for another committee member or two to join. It is a short group, a small group today. However, we wanted to make sure that we had this meeting. Because we need a quorum to begin voting, I think that I will skip around on the agenda a little bit. We do have an agenda for today's meeting. However, since that agenda has been set, things have changed a little bit, and the 4th of July celebration is back on the select board's agenda to revisit canceling for tomorrow's meeting. So I think this meeting, we need to do a couple of things to make some discussions in regards to what that means for us, but also to move forward with what we spoke about last week, which was all our alternative parade plans. And again, because we don't have a quorum and can't vote, I'm going to go ahead and move to the agenda item of just an update on the celebrations in Orleans. Cynthia, who is not able to join us today, did reach out to, or did hear back from Chatham Airport regarding the plans for the flyover, and they're not able to do a flyover this year. So we do have the one plane with the banner wishing the town of Orleans a happy 4th of July. That is confirmed, but we don't have the 3 plane formation this year. And I think that's fine because we do have some other plans in the works. So that's just an update from Cynthia. Ken, I know that you spoke with the chief of police today, and so I'm going to let you give an update.
Just a brief one. He said that if the select board votes to go ahead with the parade, he has no problem with it. He just needs to know ASAP because he has to allocate time off for his officers, because on the day of the parade, they would all be there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like us. He needs a decision tomorrow night.
Okay.
Hello, Todd.
Hi, Todd. So now that Todd is here, we do have a quorum, but
sorry.
No worries, Todd. We had things moving quickly with this meeting. So Ken was just giving an update that he did speak with Chief McDonald, and he has no issue if the select board votes to move forward with the parade. He just needs to know ASAP like we do. Ken, did you speak with him about if they continue to keep the parade as it is, our alternative plans, and what his thoughts are on that?
No, because I think that will be small potatoes compared to the parade.
Okay.
Do we know anything about the fireworks, though?
It's on the same agenda item. And it is on the agenda for tomorrow's select board meeting, agenda item number 11.
Yeah, my question was, does Peter know?
Yeah, I let
Okay.
Peter know. He hadn't been aware, but I let him know. He'll most likely be watching tomorrow. And I think in speaking with Peter, the Peter O'Meara of the Friends of the 4th of July, he is going to wait and see if anything changes tomorrow before he goes back to Atlas Fireworks, just because he's been back and forth with them so many times.
Yep.
And he also, Peter has been a great volunteer for the parade as well for many, many years. He's served as parade meister. I forget the official title, but he, helps with staging, and he's been a big part of that, Peter and his family. And so he said if things change, he's ready to help us again with that too. So
could I ask a question?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, it's relevant, but why the board is revisiting the decision? Or what precipitated that?
Why the board turned it down last week?
Well, yeah, I thought it was kind of a fait accompli. I thought they decided no parade, so maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe they hadn't already completely decided.
No, they voted to hold no parade, but when they found out that Chatham was having a parade,
so that's what I was wondering. That's why
they said, "Oh, maybe we should reconsider this." That's the way I understand it. And it's funny. The chief's first reaction was, "If Chatham's doing this, we should."
Just to put a positive spin on it, they thought if they had the parade, Orleans was going to be the only game in town. They were afraid of the crowd. So.
Right, Todd, right.
But you're probably closer to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're all correct. I think that they thought, okay, well, Chatham's doing it, so we won't have the crowd that would be Chatham plus Orleans plus potentially Provincetown. And I don't know the status of Provincetown, and I don't know that really impacts us. I think that's a different group. I think people day trip to Provincetown, that's a big day trip,
Curious, had they reached out to you at all to ask if making a decision at this particular date is a little late in the game, or are we not really concerned about whether we get our act together by?
So no, they have not reached out to me. I know that Ken spoke with the town administrator's office, and Ken and I chatted a little bit. I don't know if you want to share anything, Ken. Ken did let them know, and I think that came from our last meeting last week, where Ken was going to talk with John Kelly, the chief, whatnot, about our plans, alternative plans. So Ken, I don't know if you want to share.
No, I mean, the only thing is John Kelly's out. I asked to have Kevin Galligan call me, but he declined for whatever reason.
Yeah. So, honestly, what I'd like to do is, so I gave Cynthia's update. That was that the flyover of the 3-plane formation out of Chatham cannot happen. We are secured with the banner coming 30-minute over the town, which I think is great, regardless of parade, no parade, like regardless of what happens, I think that's great. Ken gave his update about speaking with Chief McDonald. Chief McDonald said if they vote yes, he has no problem with it. We just need to know ASAP. My task was to outreach some of the bands, which I know that Todd, you also were talking to your group, and I'll get your feedback in a second. But I had originally started with 2 of the bands that I thought would be most appropriate for doing the, downtown music, not the parade. And then when I found out that this was back on the table, I reached out to all of the bands, and I just was like, if something happens, we're going to have to move quickly. So I sent an email that was like, this is not a definite, but if it happens, are you interested? And all but 2 of our bands are ready to go, and they understand that it's going to be a last minute thing. I also have just had some conversations around town, just trying to get a feel as to whether I think we can do this or we should do this. And I feel like the overall consensus is that people want to have a parade. I think we already knew that. I've been really clear, just on my personal opinion is that I do think we can make a parade, we can produce this parade, but I think it's really important to remember that, we start planning the parade in September for the following July, and now we're down to 4 weeks. Regardless of what the governor or anybody else says, we're still in a pandemic, we're still coming out of it. We are given 4 weeks, businesses, which was my point last time. I point to the select board when I spoke to them. my point in our meeting, businesses have suffered for 14 months. They are now suffering with staffing. They might not be putting floats in a parade. So I do think resources will be limited. So my opinion is, do I think we could do it? Yes. I think that people need to be very mindful that it's not maybe going to be as grand as in previous years. And I think some grace needs to be given to maybe our committee, to the town, to our floats, to our bands, to everybody. So that's my opinion on it. I would like to just go around the group and get an opinion, nothing to be voted on, just an opinion on your thoughts about tomorrow night and what happens if we're asked to speak at the select board meeting. Ken.
Jen,
Oh, sorry. Heather, go ahead.
I think we can do it. You know, it's going to be hard and be a lot of rushing around and so on and so forth. But people, you know, my landscaper, who was one of the trucks last year that pulled a trailer, he asked me today, what's up with the parade? So people are thinking of the parade to one extent or another. The other thing is that if we are to do this on the Sunday, which I would be much in favor of, we won't be competing with Chatham for bands. And there are some bands that don't come in our parade because they always have to be in Chatham for theirs 1 hour later.
Yeah.
So there may be 2 or 3 additional bands we might be able to contact. Like, you know, the Dixie band that always plays at Friends every year.
Yeah.
That's one of them. You know, that's an idea. The Fife band out of Eastham or Truro, Wellfleet, wherever it is, if they're not having parades over that way, then there's another option. So I think while we might lose some on the floats, we might also pick up some on the bands.
I agree. And I think where the hustle is going to be just, and I will keep going around the group, sorry, but I think where the hustle and the being quick on this is, Ken, you know, because you're our vehicle guy, you know, is getting the vehicles. I think we're not going to have an issue with bands. We're going to have to get vehicles, the convertibles for the dignitaries and all of that. And I think that's where a lot of the quick sort of hustle will be in the next couple of weeks. But I do think we can do it. I agree with you on the bands. Definitely. So Heather, what are your thoughts?
same. I mean, I really appreciate, Jen, you doing the legwork to talk to some people, because that was always my question is, well, making an assumption here that it would be too hard for businesses and maybe it will be, but I wanted to know what people, because I know everyone I have spoken to has been just disappointed and thought, well, oh my gosh, this was the year to have a parade. And I think everybody understands that it might not be the biggest, most grand parade we've ever had, but just to have what we can have would be that's what people want. And if we can do that, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. I think we can do it.
Yeah, I would agree. I almost, we, Heather and Todd, you're newer to our group, but we in 2019, we were an all new committee, and we set out to make some, we were given a lot of amazing guidance from the committee before us that have been doing this for, I think, 15 years, which is crazy in a good way. But we set out to make some changes, like getting our website, getting an email address. We set up, a system to send out emails so that we could stay in touch with people and be a little more digital. And that being digital and being online allows us to be a little bit quicker communicating with people in a way that, used to be all paper and mail in and whatnot. And over the weekend, I almost sent out a 2-question survey to people that had participated, just because I was thinking about it. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to jump the gun here. But I think overall, I think there's positive. So Todd, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I probably have the least amount of experience other than, some tangential involvement with the parade over the years. So I was just curious whether the time had been so truncated that, it would be almost logistically impossible. But it sounds like it's not. And I'm certainly in favor of doing whatever we can for a parade, even if it's not quite as elaborate as in years past, both because we're just coming out of the pandemic and because we just don't have the time to line up all the acts, so to speak, that we normally do. So, but I think people will appreciate anything this year, especially to continue to keep the
Todd is absolutely right on there, I think. I happened to be looking maybe an hour ago at something online, and it had a big article about what's happening this July the 4th, and the enthusiasm for parades, etc., was just way off the charts.
Yeah.
So it isn't just Orleans thinking about it. Everybody else is looking for something to have a little relief and blow off a little steam, sort of thing, you know. So, especially for the kids.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. The other area, and I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just an event planner, so I think what goes wrong and logistics by default. But the other concern that I have, where I say that we'll need to jump right in with hustle, is the volunteers, which Cynthia did bring up on our last meeting. You know, in 2019, I mentioned our committee was all new. We had some amazing volunteers by way of the previous committee, who I think maybe was like half and half of that group saying like, we're going to volunteer this year to make sure you get off on your own 2 feet. And then like, we're done, we put in our time. And then other committee members were like, no, like we enjoy volunteering. And then, you know, COVID, here we are, it's been 2 whole years. So I'm not sure where we are with volunteers. And Claudia, who is, you know, not able to join us at the moment because of personal stuff, but will be back on the committee. Her and I had worked on like a volunteer like spreadsheet and, you know, jobs and job descriptions, because I think it's important when you have a volunteer to make sure they know exactly what it is they're responsible for. So we had put in some work there, and we do have a list of volunteers, but that's another area where I think we're all, as a committee, if this does move forward, we're going to have to be actively recruiting volunteers. So just putting that out there as well. So I just want to go back to my agenda a little bit, because it's 3:30 and there is another committee who's coming into this room, albeit virtual room. So we have a hard stop of 4:30. So looking at the agenda, I mean, we have basically done the update on the state of the fourth, and that is we're in a holding pattern until tomorrow's meeting. And it's the select board is at 6 p.m. and it's agenda item 11. So I will definitely be on that. And, you know, either anyone who wants to join in, please do, obviously. Otherwise, I'll be emailing the group immediately following that decision, just so we know. Back on the agenda, I did send out minutes from our May 25th meeting. And now that we do have a quorum, I would either entertain a motion to approve the minutes, or if there are any changes or edits that need to be made, we can do that at this time.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor to vote and approve the minutes of the May 25th meeting?
Aye.
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 Perfect. So as we move into, like, what do you guys think? Do we want to talk through plans for an alternate, plans for if they approve, or how do you want to handle this meeting? I feel like we're in such a limbo right now.
My thought is the alternate program is so much easier to arrange that, you know, I think let's just leave that on the table until we get told, you know, one way or the other.
Okay.
But I think as far as if we're going to have a parade, or we're thinking of having a parade, you, Jen, or somebody has to be prepared tomorrow night at the select board meeting to tell them what we've got in mind as far as date, starting time,
Yep.
etc. You know,
Otherwise,
they won't have any information on which to. They may object to a Sunday parade. I don't know why, you know, but
They never have before. So I agree with you. And I'm just going to pause you for one moment and we can talk about that because we do have on the agenda the 2021 celebration plans. So that's fine for us to discuss in this meeting. But I skipped over, Todd, you were doing some fact finding on your group's band. And I was just wondering if you had an update on that. And I'm sorry, I skipped that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, they're available. I think it's a somewhat smaller, a little big band instead of a big band. And I forget, I think it was like $400. That I'd be the drummer, so that's the real upside of the whole thing.
Mhm.
Stan Kenton used to get more money than that.
Yeah, a little bit. But if obviously we don't know anything, but if I can get back to them as soon as possible with a yay or a nay, I don't know if we think the parade is going to be a smaller event in a sense, and we wanted to try to add more to it. If there is some thought of still using their stationary band, obviously being that size, and if we wanted to set them up somewhere in the central area, we can only do a morning one. So if it wasn't in the morning, they couldn't do it anyway. But if we wanted to do that, we'll figure that out, I guess, when we move forward. But as soon as we know one way or another that we want to have a stationary band sitting somewhere in downtown playing for 2 hours, and it's them, let me know. And if it's not, so I can let them know in case they have other opportunities.
Question, could they be on a flatbed trailer and be in the parade if there is a parade?
Yeah, they could size it however they need to. During the pandemic, they were playing outdoors with, I think there was 4 or 5 guys,
Yep.
or people. There's some women as well, but kind of a much smaller ensemble. And so I don't know if they do that, and I don't know, do we pay bands?
Yes.
Oh, we do. Okay. So I can, if you want me to check with him even before tomorrow night, so we know one way or the other, or if you just want me to wait until after tomorrow night, so I'm not going back and forth with them with 5 different alternatives or something.
Yeah.
No, but my guess is I don't know if they've ever done it, but if they wanted to and they wanted to make $400, they could fit on something.
Yep. I would say go ahead and check with him. So one thing to bring up, I just feel if the select board approves a parade, that we should meet again very soon. And so I know twice in 1 week is a lot, but I did get, would 3 p.m. on Friday be an all right meeting time this Friday?
Can we not meet in person from now on?
We cannot meet in person until June 15th.
I could do Friday at 3.
Now we have work, we'll have work to do. A working party would be not a party, a working, not meeting. I don't know. We can't have a meeting. We have to, it has to be, on the books, but we'll have working groups like getting decor and whatnot together, but we will have things to vote on from a budgetary sense that would need to be done very
Right.
soon.
But if the select board says yes tomorrow night,
Mhm.
we need to start doing some things Thursday morning.
Correct.
So, we'll have to do that by phone calls. We won't be voting on anything.
Right. So I think that we could talk about some of the what if
The
scenarios
logistics.
today on this meeting, but I feel personally, and I could be alone in this, and if I am, that's okay. I feel very like we're up in the air, like maybe we're doing this, maybe we're not doing this. And I think that if the select board votes tomorrow, we need to sort of have an immediate, a quick turnaround meeting where we can make votes budgetary.
Oh,
And I
okay.
can say, okay, these are the things that we voted on, Ken, go. These are the things we voted on, Todd, go. Like, I think that we need that. And even if it's a brief meeting on Friday. Is that something that people could do? We could also do Friday morning. I just have to get the 48 hours, so I have to get it in first thing tomorrow. And Heather's on the West Coast too, so I think afternoon is better.
Oh,
That-
3 o'clock's fine with me.
Okay.
Oh,
I
Friday.
think I'm fine. I'd like to check the tide charts first, but that's another issue. But
Oh.
I think that'll work.
Oh, you wanted to have a working group on your boat? Is that what I?
Yeah, something like that. But no, but yeah, I think I totally agree. The sooner we can even
Yeah,
working groups beforehand, it's going to be an all hands on deck kind of a situation.
agreed.
And the sooner we,
I can't do it in the morning.
Okay, let's do 3 o'clock on Friday. And then from there, we can make a schedule for the rest of the month up until July 4th. So it's not so last minute.
Right.
And beginning June 15th, we can meet in person. Okay, sorry. So we're gonna meet 3 p.m. Friday via Zoom. Okay, so going back to my agenda, 2021 celebration plans. I think we have a good, as far as the alternative, if the parade does not get voted tomorrow, we know what we're trying to do. We're talking about putting a couple of bands, inviting the antique cars in a couple of the parking lots or the Staples parking lot, putting a band in the town green. The one challenge is that church, the Methodist church across the street, does have a service until 11 a.m. So I think out of respect, if we were to put music in the town green, we should wait until 11 a.m. I do think we could do like a Staples parking lot and put music in there at 10 a.m.
Jen, sorry to interrupt, but that happens to be my wife's church.
Mhm.
I'm wondering because they do have the sunrise services. So their first service will be 7 o'clock that morning.
Yeah,
So the second one at 10 is very small.
yep,
You know?
okay,
And it might be possible. I'll talk to my wife and some of her friends, but it might be possible that the church would agree to move their Sunday service up 30 minutes.
yeah.
There's no harm in asking.
Right, but on that note, I'm already in touch with someone from there.
Okay.
She reached out to us via the info@Orleans 4th of July email. And I let her know we had plans to put music in that park, which we could look at the timing on, but the parade might be back on. And I'm going to get back to her after the meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
So why don't we wait and see? And the woman's name I can give you was Ellen. I don't have her last name in front of me. Her name was
Done.
Ellen,
Okay.
but I can circle back with you on her if they, and this is only if they vote a no. So now in the hypothetical world, if they vote yes to bring the parade back tomorrow, Ken, you mentioned date and time. I mean, the parade is always on July 4th at 10 a.m. and I would vote to keep it that way personally. What do you guys think?
My only reason for saying 10:30, and I'm not a churchgoer, I'm far from it, is that it would give the people an opportunity to go to church and then still attend the parade. And it also would still allow time for people to get to the beach about lunchtime. So, but 10 o'clock's fine with me. I mean, I'm not going to argue the point.
I think it's always been 10. We have signage that's like set, like the big banner that goes across the
Okay.
street. It says 10 a.m. on it. I think even on previous Sunday 4th, it's been 10 a.m. And I think personally, I think we should leave it.
I think the
It's
only
not been
church
an
it
issue in
really
the past.
affects. Sorry, Todd.
No, I'm sorry.
Not
No,
to
go
my
ahead.
knowledge. And I also think there's an earlier service. And also if you're starting at 10 at Eldridge Parkway, we're closer to 11 by the time you're at that Methodist on the corner.
Well, and they're all out there selling lobster rolls anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know that it's been it's not been
Yeah.
brought to my attention, but it's been this way every other year. So I'm sort of in favor of keeping it the same.
Okay. I mean, I think in general, speaking as a churchgoer, and I know over the years, all the churches I've been parts of, sometimes they resent it if there's little league games scheduled on top of and all that kind of stuff. But I think they've given up that
Yeah.
that cultural they've caved on that and realized that with how busy life is these days, there some things just inevitably overlap. And if it's not been an issue in the past, I don't think we have to change all that much, but maybe along Ken's line, if we want to compromise a little bit and get a little bit still in the morning, but maybe out of, I know the Catholic Church has an 8 and a 10, I think it is.
8 and a 10.
They're on their summer schedule yet, but they have opportunities to go to other services, on Saturday nights there as well. So I don't think it'd be a big deal, but anything we could do to try not to step on their toes, that would be good.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to step on people's toes. Heather, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Jen. I think in the interest of consistency and just using the banners we have and all that, if we can leave it at 10, that would be preferable.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys want to vote? I kind of feel like we're split 2 and 2. So even if we vote, but
Oh, no, I'm not. It's not a problem for me.
yeah, I mean, it's not a problem changing it for me either. It's more about the consistency, and it's just been this way for, I don't even know how long, and the banners that we have, but I'm happy to do what the group wants on that, because
Well, I'll make a motion to start it at 10 o'clock on the 4th.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, so we're voting, so a vote to keep it at 10 a.m. on July 4th. Should the select board vote to have the parade? Okay, so in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
But I don't feel strongly about it, so I don't.
That's fine.
Not that big of a deal. Yeah.
Okay. But duly noted about that, honestly. Okay, so based on that vote, it would be July 4th, 10 a.m., kicking off at Eldridge Parkway. Same route, not even entertaining a discussion on changing the route. Just kidding. If anyone wants to change it, let me know. But I just think with public safety and the fact that it's worked that way, it's the same route. So just to give you a quick update on the bands that I did reach out to, I have Mark's Music, Bruce McLean, Sue Keller, and the Jazz Trio are all in for the parade if we have it. Unfortunately, our fife and drum band is not able to make it. The Brewster Town Band is not able to make it. The Brewster Town Band has just started practicing for the first time in over 14 months, and their first performance is going to be on July 4th, and it's a smaller group, and they just didn't feel that they could do both. I did reach out to the Harwich Town Band, and Ken, I know that you were on top of that, and so maybe I'm duplicating efforts, and if I did, I'm sorry. I just saw an opportunity where they were on Facebook and they were responding to messages, so I messaged them. And I did get through to the band director, who said this year they're not able to, but I let him know that we have interest in adding them to our roster moving forward. This year, they're also just starting to practice and having smaller performances. And so they just didn't feel they could get as many people together as they would want for the parade. So he's forwarded my request, which would be again 2022 beyond, to the board. And so while not a possibility for this year, should we have a parade, hopefully we at least have communication. And, you know, Ken, I know that you would talk to them too, but it's at least going to their board of directors for future years.
That's better than what it's been in the past.
Yeah. So I guess one of my biggest questions that I would like to talk today with everybody is the theme. And for those that are new to the group, previously, in previous years, for as long as, I'm not sure how long, the theme was selected by a student at the elementary school. And basically we would reach out to the elementary school students. I want to say in like February. I think we started the process earlier, actually. It used to be February. We started it earlier. And then we would take all of their submissions and meet as a group and select like the top 5 and vote on the top 5. And that's how we would come up with the theme. And the student who submitted the theme would get to ride in the parade. Obviously, if we're voted tomorrow, that's not happening. I don't believe that we have time for that. I think that we have to turn around a theme almost immediately, probably Friday. And my goal would be, if tomorrow's meeting goes the way we think, we meet on Friday, and this weekend parade applications are open on our website. That would be my goal, which would mean by the end of our meeting on Friday, we need to select our theme. So I think for this year only, or, you know, at least this year, whether it's only or not, that's up for discussion. But I think we have to, as a committee, come up with a theme. I think we can, you know, shoot ideas across all of us. We can ask whoever we want to ask. I'm open to the process, but it's got to be a quick one. So what do you guys think? What do you think about the process? Do you have any ideas about the theme? I think it should be like, obviously celebratory, united, whatnot, like uniting us. It's obviously always patriotic in, you know, they're always patriotic, or they come back to patriotism somehow, but that's my thought. Ken, what do you think?
Well, my idea would be that if, as we think about it, you know, coldly after we get off, we should just send the list into you.
Yeah.
And then you can have a list that we can all discuss on Friday. And we'd have to pick, you know, I mean, I might sit here and say something like, you can call it America's Back.
Yeah, I like that.
Something like that, you know, because that's the whole thing. We're back doing things together, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think if everybody sends in their ideas, then we can, you know, maybe you could send an email to those who aren't on the Zoom today and ask for them their theme ideas by tomorrow or the next day.
I will. And that was my thought too. If people email me their ideas, even by Friday morning, I can compile a full list and email them out. So at least you can have it in front of you on the Zoom on Friday. But anybody have any like ideas that are already at the top of their head, or does that sound like a good process for everybody?
I think the process is good, and I like Ken's idea offhand, but it's only only one choice so far.
Yeah.
Maybe we can come up with, but something along those lines obviously would be appropriate. I'm just curious, what does it matter? What is this? What people focus on when they're doing their floats or something, or is it just a marketing?
Off the record,
Crucial, I guess.
I would think it's really more marketing. I mean,
Okay.
So many of the floats don't do anything that has to do with the theme.
Yeah, I'll admit, I never knew it had a theme before.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
exactly. I think it's marketing. Some 1% of the floats go all out towards the theme. I think those are the ones that typically win. But I think like I like Ken's idea. That's the same idea that I have, like America's back, Orleans is back, something like that. It should be Orleans, Cape Cod, patriotic, so like they're always around there. So if you do a great patriotic float, like it's a great, it fits the theme. But yeah, I think it's more marketing than it matters. But I think there's 1% that really get into the theme. I think it's fun to have a theme, but I think it's more important to be in the parade, which is why I don't want to spend more time than we need to on the theme. But something about celebration, America's back, Cape Cod's back, Orleans is back. I like anything in that personally. I did see Chatham's and I really liked their theme. I don't remember all of it, but it was like celebration, like seaside town. That's their thing. It's a celebration, which was cute. So kudos to them. But all right. So I'll send an email to the group, the folks that couldn't make the Zoom today. If we are meeting at 3, if everybody can send it to me by noon or 9 a.m. on Friday morning, I'll just compile quickly the list and send it out. I don't know if we have a list of past ideas that were not selected. I'll look and see if we do, and I can maybe throw that out if I see it, but I'm not sure. So Ken, Car Master Ken, I think that is going to be a big and immediate task, is getting all the vehicles. And I'm wondering if maybe we can divide it up, have you be in charge of it, but have another committee member help you. Maybe someone goes after convertibles and you go after trucks or whatever. What are your thoughts? That's something
Well, they have to be willing to accost people in parking lots.
Yep, I know. You have to train someone. Todd, I'm looking at you. What do you think? I'm concerned a little bit about vehicles, and because I know that that's a big part of the process that takes a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see how I go within 2 or 3 days.
Okay.
And if it's not going well, then maybe I'll reach out to Todd and say, can you help me out here? You know a lot of people in town,
Yeah.
Actually, I don't, but I'm happy to accost people.
Okay, yeah.
Specialty.
Because I'm not so sure that everybody with the convertibles is still around.
Yeah.
And people my age get older quicker and they're not doing these things.
I also think if this gets voted, I will say this on every Zoom meeting, the theme of our committee is that we're coming out of a pandemic and we can only do what we can do. So
Right.
if somebody doesn't get to ride in a convertible and then 2021, they ride in the back of my Jeep, then that's what they get.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that this morning, some could ride in a pickup truck with 4 chairs in it rather than, somebody's fancy convertible.
Yes.
Well,
So
I have a pickup truck and my wife has a convertible, so if you need those, just let me know.
Yeah.
you got your first convertible.
There you go. It's
There we go.
very small.
We might need the pickup truck to move the chairs.
Well, we don't have the band. That's
So we'd need less chairs.
Yeah, we have a handful. I was looking at my list. Honestly, this weekend of rain changed my personal plans, and I kind of spent it like looking over notes from 2019 and the binder that I was given when the old committee passed on, the thick binder full of stuff. I sort of perused it because I was like, if this happens, we're going to have to go quick. So
Todd mentioned a little while ago something about not being able to play in the afternoon, I think. So if we go with the alternate plan, we don't get to do the parade. Are we still all right with bands for the morning? And would that be at 10 or would that be at 10:30? Because that's a different.
Yep. I think I was going to say 10 to 12, but I think 10:30 to 12 or 12:30 is fine for that because that's not the same old for many years. So we could do that at 10:30. I'm open to that. I don't think it should go past 12. I think at that point, people are like lunch,
Yeah.
barbecue, beach, whatever. Okay. So 10
We already voted on 10 o'clock for the other, so I think we
for the
should
parade.
just
Yeah.
stay consistent.
Okay. Ken, just spitballing here. What other thoughts, concerns, things that you think need immediate attention?
The publicity is the biggest thing, I think.
Yeah.
We have to get, you remember the flyers I put all
Yep.
around town last year?
Yep.
We need to get Cynthia or I got them run off at the town hall. Cynthia, I think, did the design and all that.
Yeah.
We need to get them posted so people know right away, 4 weeks from now, there's going to be a parade. And
Yeah.
if you can send out an email to the list of all past participants, we had a huge list a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we have a huge list. So I'm not actually worried about publicity because I think people are talking about it already. We'll definitely send an email to the list we have. It's separated. So we have previous participants and then we have, through working with the chamber, the list of businesses in town. So we'll send one just to everyone, hey, the parade's back or not, or the alternative is this. And then if the parade's back, we'll send a targeted email to previous participants and just say like, okay, like we're back, here's the application, do it today. We have our website, so we can use that. We do have the social media, the Facebook page that we just haven't done much on because nothing's been going on. And then I actually had an idea, which I wanted to bring up, possibly to actually vote to spend money on, or maybe not today, actually, because I didn't research exact costs. But one thing that I was thinking about was having lawn signs made, and regardless of what we do, and putting them all over town. You can get them online really inexpensively. The little like real estate or like your landscaper puts them up. They're like 12 by 18 in stakes. And I was thinking we should put them up all over town, whether it's like parade, July 4th, 10 a.m. Here's our website soon, so that people were like, oh, I can enter or view, be a spectator. Or whether it's parade alternative, town green. I think we could get those made for under $100. And if we put them all over town, we would hit people, I think, more so than even the flyers, because we could get them all over, and have them be pretty.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I also, we have, I know that the Chronicle did cover the town meeting in Orleans canceling the parade, and I do believe that there's someone on this meeting from the Chronicle, and I would assume obviously they're going to be on tomorrow's select board meeting. But we also voted to do some advertising in 2019, thanking our donors and volunteers. We can decide if we want to, at our next meeting, if we want to vote to put any advertising dollars or putting something in the Chronicle as well. But I think publicity wise, I think people are already talking about it. So I think we'll be getting it out. We'll have help getting it out for sure. I'll get a quote on the lawn signs and then we can vote on our next meeting on Friday. Because that way we'll know whether we're spending it for parade or parade alternative. And then I'll mention to Cynthia about the flyers and updating that. Heather, another thing that I've been thinking about, you and I had spoken right when we talked about you joining the committee, about you sort of being in charge of decorations. I have all of the decor that we have in my house right now in bins. I think we probably have enough. We decorate the floats that the bands go on. I think we have enough because we did purchase more in 2019 because we had more bands. But I didn't know if when you're back in town, if you wanted to pick a day and we could just go through everything. I haven't looked at it since people put it away. I'm just holding on to it. we could do an inventory of like what we have and what we need to order. We can set a budget, vote on that, and figure that out.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd really like to see what we have. And I actually was looking online for some decorations the other day, thinking this was before I knew working out for my own vehicle, which I was hoping was going to be participating. And there was a lot of stuff that was, as is the case with many things right now, back order or seemingly unavailable. This might be really hot this year.
Yeah.
So we might want to do that sooner rather than later. But as soon as I get back, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to do it whenever. We also could on Friday's meeting, if depending on the outcome of tomorrow, we can vote to a budget. So that right when, we can get ordering right away.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Ken, what am I missing?
I don't think really anything until we get a decision one way or the other.
Okay,
Otherwise, we're going round the mulberry bush,
right.
doing two plans and some conflict and some go together.
Yeah.
The big issue to me would be, I think, if we get the okay, we need more bands.
Yeah.
We need to replace the Irish band and the Brewster band.
I
And
agree.
that's why we need to find out who's going to be in Chatham's and contact them, or who's usually in province towns if they're still not doing it. Maybe we
Right.
should check with province towns, see if they're having a parade.
Yeah, I think Wellfleet too. I'll check with Wellfleet as well. And Todd, I would look into your group and see if they would be interested in riding.
Yeah, I sent an email to him and, even everybody that's in that band seems to be in 3 other bands.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can just have that, Jim, the fellow who heads that up, just, send out a blast email to everybody saying, does anybody have a, band that does parades and are you interested in the 4th?
Okay.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Then I'd need to know what size truck and what size generator you need.
Yeah. Oh, as an aside, in my weekend sending emails of this may happen, might not, I did reach out to Nauset Disposal about the toilets and the trash for fireworks and parade route. And I said, do you have availability if this gets voted? And they are holding them pending tomorrow's meeting.
Okay.
Same.
Great.
As last year's. Okay, so I guess I don't have anything other than just waiting until Friday unless anybody else has anything to talk about. I feel like we've covered the sort of areas that we know we're going to have to jump right on for Friday's meeting should they vote to have a parade. And I think if we do not have a parade, I think we're in good shape for knowing what our alternative plan is. Does anyone else have anything to talk about or bring up?
The only thing I had was, Jen, was, if you have any materials that I ought to have, not having been involved in terms of, a playbook,
Yeah.
what tasks have to get accomplished, and also, in case I want to start thinking about what I can do besides recruit automobiles or whatever.
Yep.
So if there's a to-do list that we usually try to check off, or any materials like that, just to give me some sense of what the
So bluntly, there's a giant binder one that I have that I was given that I sort of determined was useful in some ways and other ways was a little too much. And I started the process of making the playbook and then I stopped the process. So I don't really have anything right now. I'll send you whatever I do have. And that's on my to-do list for like after the parade to continue because I think that's important to have for all committee members, but I'll send you what I have. I have like a very rough timeline thing.
All right, thanks. No, that'd be helpful. So
I'll send it to the group. Yeah.
Bonnie didn't leave you anything but a huge.
She left me a lot.
There you go.
She was amazing. left me a lot, but it's hard to dissect a little. I will send that to everybody. Okay, well, if no one has anything else for today's meeting, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
4:04, we will adjourn, and I will see you all on Friday at 3 o'clock. And from there, we can make our schedule. Thank you very much for meeting twice this week. For bearing with this kind of craziness.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, we're meeting Friday regardless of tomorrow's vote?
Yes.
Okay, because we still have work to do on.
Yeah. And like I said, we can just make our meeting schedule through the 4th at that point.
Gotcha.
Travel safe,
Jen, for all
Heather.
your work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken.
All right. Bye,
See you on
everyone.
Friday.
Bye.